On April 16, 1959, the college daydream of a young rodeo cowboy by the name of Bill Hogg was realized. The national anthem was played at the first of 3 debut performances at the Kowbell Indoor Rodeo Arena in Mansfield, Texas. Bill Hogg was born and raised and went to school in Mansfield, Texas. He served 3 years in the U.S. Air Force from 1943 to 1946. He then went on to college and graduated from Texas A&M in 1949. While at A&M, he was one of the organizers of the National Intercollegiate Rodeo Association. A calf roper and a steer wrestler, Bill won several buckles in collegiate rodeos and became the NIRA bulldogging champion in 1949. While in college, Bill and other classmates had dreams of someday having their own rodeo. After graduation, Bill went into the dairy business with his father. After a while, Bill opened the Mansfield Commission Company on Old Mansfield Highway just north of the intersection of Highway 157. It was a livestock sale and auction business that he ran for the next several years. When Bill married Jan Acola, one of Bill's friends tied a cowbell to their car after the wedding. The cowbell was more fitting for Bill than the tin cans traditionally tied to the rear bumpers for wedding processions. The cowbell became their symbol, and from that the name Kowbell Indoor Rodeo was born. After they got married, they obtained a loan from a local bank to buy 13 acres adjacent to the Mansfield Commission Company. This was to be the site of the Kowbell Arena, and construction began in 1958. 10 years after his graduation, his dream of becoming a rodeo producer became a reality by opening the Kowbell Indoor Rodeo Arena. When it opened in 1959, the arena was an open-roof facility with very few amenities. Admission was $2. It had a canvas top that could be closed for shelter during bad weather, but soon a Texas twister took care of that. Over the course of a few years, it received a new roof that continued to allow rodeos to be held indoors year-round. Finally, there was central heat and air, which supplemented the faithful old oil-burning heaters. There was seating for 2,700, with concessions, business offices, livestock pens, sheds, and outbuildings. The Kowbell was the only rodeo in the United States which was open the year round. Spectators came from home, out of state, and around the world. Rodeos were held on Saturday and Sunday nights, but entertaining events were held during the week also. Bull and bronc riding practice on Monday nights, calf roping practice on Tuesday nights, cutting horse and barrel racing practice on Wednesday nights, practice and jackpot calf roping on Thursday nights, and jackpot bull roping on Friday nights. Other events from time to time included wild cow milking, cutting horse contests, and calf scrambles. Children in the audience were invited to participate in the fun-filled calf scramble, and someone would always try to take the $100 from around the money bull's neck. Besides the weekly rodeos, the Hoggs hosted several clubs and organizations for their activities at the Kowbell. These included college rodeos, horse shows, finals for the all-colored rodeo, Appaloosa Cutting Horse Show, National Cutting Horse Finals in 1959, American Junior Rodeo Association Finals in 1961, and the presentation of awards rodeo for the Central Rodeo Association in 1959 and 1960. Bill produced many outstanding rodeos throughout Texas, and in 1960 the biggest and most successful was held in conjunction with Fort Worth's Pioneer Days celebration at the Northside Coliseum in the Fort Worth Stockyards. This is Bill riding in that parade. Country life dominated the area surrounding Mansfield for many years. Perhaps no better example of what Mansfield was about in the late 1950s, 60s, and 70s was the Kowbell Indoor Rodeo. There was nothing fancy about the dusty arena, but the wooden seats were accommodating to the crowd. Standing heaters were a must during winter months, and big fans helped out during the summer. Both cowboys and cowgirls showed up every Saturday night for the challenge of the sport of rodeo. Bulls, calves, steers, and horses were the highlights of the show. Every participant heard their name and hometown called from the press box located just above the chutes. First-time visitors were recognized by the public address announcer and asked to stand. The audience clapped and welcomed all that came to Mansfield. It was a friendly country atmosphere that Mansfield was proud to call its own. Rodeo stars from Donnie Gay to Scott Mendez to Pete Hawkins got their start riding bulls at the Kowbell as little guys. But tragedy struck in September of 1961. Bill Hogg died suddenly after a short illness from spinal meningitis. Bill was only 35 years old. He died very young, but his dream had been fulfilled, even though he was only able to enjoy it for 2.5 years. The Kowbell would not be the same, but still, the Kowbell Indoor Rodeo would live on to be a famous landmark and spawn many a cowboy and cowgirl's career. It would continue to offer for many more years outstanding rodeo entertainment to people from around the world. Jan Hogg continued operating the arena and later married Jack Ratchin. Together, they operated the arena until 2004, when it was finally torn down to make room for the 4th high school in the Mansfield School District, the new Legacy High School. It now sits where the rodeo arena was. The Kowbell was Bill Hogg's baby. He dreamed it, designed it, and watched it develop from infancy to one of the finest rodeo facilities in the United States. For 45 years, the Kowbell Rodeos touched the lives of hundreds of people. It was a huge success, drawing standing room only crowds night after night. People came into the museum all the time to talk about their experiences. I rode my first bull, or I roped my first calf there as a kid, or we used to go there every Saturday night when we were kids. We hear lots of stories, and people come into the museum and want to see if we have anything on the Kowbell. They want something to trigger their memories and talk about it. It is probably one of the most famous historical landmarks that has existed in the history of Mansfield. One can always remember in the good old days. Come Saturday night, come rain or come shine, the chute would open at the Kowbell Arena and one would hear those familiar words. Let's rodeo! The Mansfield Historical Society recognized the Kowbell Arena in 2004 by creating one of their collector Christmas tree ornaments in honor of the Kowbell Arena. The ornament is available for purchase in the museum gift shop.